So these are our standings so far. Sweden, the only undefeated team at 5 wins. Scotland following closely with 4 wins. Plenty of teams at 3 and 2. Amongst others, Japan. So a must win for them. And Italy, of course, also needs to pick up a win. Latvia and China at 5 losses so far. Looking really tough for them, along with Denmark also at 1 win. These are the other games out in the arena today. You'll see Switzerland play United States, Russia play Denmark, and Germany plays China. We'll try and keep you updated on the games as we go along. And it looks like we already have a few stones in play. Italy will be playing the red stones, Japan the yellow. It was Diana Gaspari to come closest to the pin with a tee draw to determine the last stone advantage.
Championships.
So not quite going to make it down to the red one there. But still a few problems for the Italians. Did put up that corner guard, which I think was a bit of a strange call. You saw Japan throw the centre. Italy came around it. Japan tried to follow, ended up top 12, and then they threw the corner. So certainly should be looking to utilise it.
Well, maybe the Italians can open up the centre of play here and bring that corner in. Those yellow stones at the top of the house. A pretty menacing position in the moment for the Japanese. Yeah, actually not a bad result there.
It does spread things a bit, opens up the front, keeps the red one, just barely.
Yeah, and actually makes the scoring zone a little bit bigger as well. Here's Mio Ichikawa, the Japanese third player.
So Japan will set 3. And we'll take a look at the rules of play. You have to play 6 ends minimum in the round robin stages. Both teams will have 73 minutes of playing time, and if they're ever in trouble they can bring their coach down for a minute. As we see Giorgia Apollonio, the 25-year-old, playing a hit and roll, I believe. Just be a double as well here. A couple of options. Wanted to catch the inside there. Won't quite be able to do that. I think we'll just see the nose hit back from Japan.
Just squeaks it by the back one. Well, Japan electing just to put something in the top 12 to cover the freeze on this yellow stone towards the corner guard. Italy do have the last stone here in the first end. Here's Satsuki Fujisawa, the 21-year-old. Also her first appearance at a World Women's Championships. This Japanese team finished the silver medal at the Pacific Championships in Naseby, New Zealand last year, improving on 4th the year before.
This stone doesn't really stop in a good spot for them. Certainly wanted to bring that to the top of the 12 and maybe just a wee bit tighter to the centre line. A good chance for Diana Gaspari to come around with the out turn and play the freeze, and Japan hasn't really left all of that yellow to be used after, so all of a sudden a good chance for Diana.
And here is the 28-year-old. Won a silver medal at the European Championships in 2006 in Basel, Switzerland.
Losing out to Lyudmila Previkova of Russia. She's quite experienced. This would be her 263rd game officially, including juniors and Europeans mixed, so on. Played plenty of games for our nation. And had a really good line here, just going to stop a bit short. Only going to be lying second. And you might just see Japan split the rings here.
I do think they need to be a little bit careful though. If they are going to split the rings, they need to make sure that they do pass the D line. They don't want to set up any double takeout, and at the moment that's really the only way that Italy might be able to get that short stone out. So if they were to ever finish high at the T line here, then might as well not just not throw it. I actually don't mind them throwing a tight guard here. We'll see how this one works out. Just needs to make sure that they get it down there past the T line.
Yeah, pretty much either got to keep it high top 8 or behind the tee. It's basically up to the sweepers to make the call if they want to leave it short or not. This certainly doesn't come too far, but
well, as you said, Sander, better up there than at the top of the forefoot.
Does make the out turn draw a bit harder. It'd be nice to maybe be a bit closer to the centre line, just to close the gap off a little bit. Gaspari will be able to more or less draw the same path here. Italy did have first practice, and she wasn't very close to the 1 foot with the draw for hammer. So the ice is kind of quicken up a little bit after Japan's been out there and played the stones for 10 minutes. This one's looking a bit short here, needing to sweep this one all the way down, but it's just going to pull up short of the house, so not quite being able to get a grip of the ice here.
Yeah, maybe a little bit slower on that side. Fresh path, and that one comes up short. Will be a still 1 in the first end, and 1 end played here between Japan and Italy, and it's Japan 1, Italy 0.
tutti abbiamo sbagliato.
So back in action here in the second. Japan stolen in the first, and they are looking to bring this one into the top of the four. Just gonna pull up a bit short, and we'll just enter the top of the 12 here. Now we did get so much action already in the first end, Logan. I didn't really get a chance to ask you about the game plan here. What's Italy going to look for? What's Japan going to do to win the game here?
Well, Sander, something the Japanese have been good at this week is scoring multiple points with the hammer. So for me, it's really trying to make the most of those opportunities when they do have the last stone, getting those corner guards in play. But maybe somewhere they could improve is when they don't have the last stone and they're up in the game. Is they really got sucked in a couple of the games that we've seen, Scotland and Latvia, and really got themselves in a huge amount of trouble. They blew a 4-shot lead against Latvia, but still managed to get the job done in the end. But maybe they can just make things a little simpler for themselves. So nice takeout there. Hits and rolls to a corner there from Matsumura.
So there is a guard in play for Italy now. Pretty tight to the rings, and it is yellow. But we're going to try and come around it here with Alvera's second stone. And as we just mentioned in the first end, she's been struggling a bit this week. Just looking at the stats, she's bottom ranked with a good margin. Again here, and just not quite being able to pull off the shot.
Did they try and go around the corner there?
Yes, they did, Logan.
Do you suggest that maybe a risky strategy with hit the last one?
I think you see most teams just play the hit and roll back into the rings. Well, sorry, that actually not possible.
Might have been in 1990s, Sander, but not these days.
Yeah, obviously there's a free guard zone rule in play.
I would have thought that a centre guard might have been a better option there.
For Italy with the last one.
It's very early in the morning. Sorry.
Right, it's a couple of blunders from both of us here. So just like Alvera, I need to get the grip on this game. And you'll see Japan trying to come around, actually only able to split the yellows. But does leave a hit and roll for Gaspari's team. So Kiana Olivieri, just hanging pretty wide so far. I'm not sure if she's even going to touch this one. Well, it'll be enough to remove it from play. Just nowhere close of rolling towards the corners. And Japan's just going to split the rings here, come down deep to the tee line. Just want to overcurl the centre a little bit. Just make sure that roll is going to be pretty long for the Italians. Down to Matsumura and Ishikawa to bring this one down. Won't quite be able to do that, but does leave a centre guard.
Yeah, not a terrible result there for Japan. While this is all going on, Germany 3 wins and 2 losses up against the winless China. Bingyu Wang throwing her final stone of the first end. And I think that China can almost write off the playoff stages at this point, but still crucial Olympic points on the line. And they will score 2 in the first end. A good start for the Chinese.
So look at the peel off the centre guard. Won't quite roll away, but leaves a corner. So more or less double corner guards for Italy here. So the Japanese need to be a bit careful.
Well, going back to that discussion we had, Sander, about the big steals that Italy gave up in the first 3 games, it could well that they've had to change their strategy a little bit, and the coaching staff have maybe advised them just to make sure you don't leave up the centre guards, keep the scoring area open, and guarantee that you can get in there with your last stone. Well, maybe now they have a better chance to hit and flip under one of the guards.
So just gets inside, not enough to make the roll though. Leaves it in the open. We're going to hop over to sheet A. First end between Switzerland and the United States. Both at 3 wins and 2 losses.
Yeah, and differing form between these 2 teams. Switzerland having 2 consecutive losses yesterday. United States off the back of a victory over Canada, winning in an extra end last night. Here's Erica Brown with her final stone of the first. Will this one come down enough to catch the backing? Doesn't even need it. Perfect draw by Erica Brown, and there will be a score of 1 in the first end. USA 1, Switzerland 0.
Back in our sheet, just saw Japan play the nose hit. Georgia Apollonio looking for that roll again. Oh, it's going to be very close. It's a very nice shot. Won't get fully hidden, but certainly makes things a bit more difficult for Japan. Can probably see less than half of this. This is Coach Hatomi Nagaoka. So we're down to skip stones here. Satsuki Fujisawa. Can't probably see less than half. Just coming after this one with controlled weight. Really nice to stick around though. If you ever roll out here, just going to leave a draw for Gianna Gaspari. But maybe just being a bit safe here. Picking that one out. Couple of
Fabio Oliveira, the Italian coach. So Diana Gaspari going for takeout on this red-yellow combination in the front of the house. I think maybe Diana thinks just the lineup of these stones that might not be that beneficial to make the come around. It's a pretty straightforward raise for Japan.
was able to squeeze that one in behind the other corner guard. So just being a bit cautious so far.
Yeah, I think, again, it's just going back to that concept of not putting Skip Diana Gaspari under too much pressure when they've got the last stone. They're pretty safe. They don't want to really give up a steal at this point.
So won't be able to stick the shooter here. And it's going to be pretty easy for Gaspari just to blank the end. We'll just run this one through. And keep the last stone advantage for the third end. Quite often you'll see the skips just focus and throw the stone properly down the line. Try and get some information from the shot. Just want to see how much it curls down this path. So with that, it's a blank end. Still 1-0 for Japan after 2 ends.
Third end underway here at the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga, Latvia. We're live from the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013, and our featured game here in Draw 9 is Italy against Japan. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me I have Sander Rovog. I think I'm ever going to be able to get that second name right, Sander.
That's fine.
Let's go back to Rolvag, I think.
Sounds better. So Alvera here, just playing the nose hit. You think might just be in the back head of Gaspari to blank the third as well. Scoring fourth, already scoring in the even ends. Or maybe just because they want to keep things open and tight for a wee while longer.
Could be either, Sander.
Combination maybe.
Both plausible arguments.
This Japanese team, you know, they're quite famous back home in Japan. The girls were scouted when in high school. They were younger than 18, I believe, and they were offered jobs with the Chubu Electric Power Company. Well, it's a big electric company in Japan, and the company will support the team financially and give them time off for curling. So when they're not curling, they're working for that company, and they will pay the travel expenses and for World Curling Tour events, international events. And they're so famous that when they have training sessions back home, You average about 50 journalists coming out there for photographers, and maybe at least 10 TV crews out there to film them. When they won the silver at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships, you had to hold a press conference at the Tokyo airport due to the amount of media interest. So it's pretty crazy over there. Lots of attention.
Yeah, in the UK you have to be a top footballer to maybe justify a press conference in the national squad, and maybe not even the Scottish squad. They might have to be an English footballer. Yeah, so just incredible interest. Certainly, I played in Asia in the World Juniors in 2006, and just the interest was phenomenal. That was in Korea, which obviously isn't the same as Japan, but really is a different world over there when it comes to sports and the interest that the media show.
Apparently when they did the university games in Harbin, China as well, they had about 100 million viewers in 1 week. So it's good to see that the whole world just bringing the curling in to their lives. It's really spreading all over.
Yeah, and I get the impression as well that the Asian media are maybe a little bit more supportive and positive towards their sports teams and stars than certainly in the UK. There's a lot of kind of tough love from the media at times to really put a lot of pressure on their national teams to perform, and it doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately.
Well, you would think that with Scotland being so good at curling and maybe not excelling at every other sport, that they would appreciate the medals, and you know.
Yeah, curling doesn't get any media exposure really in Scotland. Not until the Olympics comes around anyway, and then there's a bit of a flurry for a month or two, and then we just go back to normality in the wilderness.
Yeah, it's a bit the same in Norway. It's big hype during the Olympics, especially since usually take medals there. And we had the crazy pants of the Norwegians also during Vancouver. That kind of hyped things up. But we're getting a bit more now. Some TV time. I know the Scottish men's was on TV in Scotland as well.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was streamed online, but it was just a kind of late night highlight show that got onto the BBC. Here's Ichikawa. Just throwing another one into the ring. It's a bit of a non-event, this third end. And you would expect this end to run through to Diana Gaspari's final stone being appealed to try and blank this third end. Well, Sander, I certainly hope it's your kind of first explanation that they're trying to score on the even ends, because if they're going to do this every single time they don't have the hammer, then it could be a long, long morning for us.
Well, you might see Japan throw the centre guard though, if you want to keep some stones in play. Certainly allowing Italy to blank the end by throwing the stone into the rings. And certainly by rolling out the whole time, you're just allowing the Japanese team to practice their draw weight. You're not really gaining too much yourself. Because if it's playing open to get a feel of the ice, that's the point. You're basically just giving your opponent the best chance of getting a feel, playing the draws. So when I stick this red one around, does that nicely, Apollonio. Time to skip stones now. Satsuki Fujisawa will make her way down to the hack. Just to open it. Certainly both teams will save some time playing an end like this, which could come in handy, as we've seen especially Japan put plenty of stone to play on occasions. You might just have to scratch your nut a couple of times.
Well, neither team very good at the hit and stick this end, but that'll be more important take hits that they have to play in this game than these ones we're seeing in the third end.
Is it ever hard to stay focused playing an end like this?
Well, I don't think it's such a big deal for the non-skip players, but definitely has to be something taken into consideration by the skips, because they do have to make an accurate final stone in the end, or this has all been for nothing.
It's always a terrible feeling playing a perfect blank end and then you nose it, that final shot.
So quite often you'll see the skips throwing to their favoured hand for appeal in this situation, so maybe I guess Barry feeling a little more confident on the in-turn peel, trying to get out as really as close to the edge of the rings, so they've got as short a distance to roll out to blank the end as possible.
So seeing that, do you think Japan will then try and roll back to the other side?
I certainly wouldn't think it would hurt to roll to the centre line. I think it's a long way to go to get to the other side, but if you can make that distance a little bit longer for them to roll out of the house, then that could work in their favour as well.
Oh, last stone here for Fujisawa. Just want to stack this one. So many times this week we've seen this particular shot being missed, allowing the skip to just run their last stone through, just as we saw in the previous end actually. But now Kaspari will have to play a shot to blank the end. So she will miss the shot, and it will be all for nothing. Italy takes one. It's tied up after 3, and when we come back in the fourth end, we'll see Japan have last stone. So ready for the fourth end here at the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championship. We just saw Diana Gaspari play a nose hit while she was trying to blank the end. And now Japan has last stone. Claudia Alvera playing 71% so far this week. Certainly not the numbers you'd like to see from a lead player. I think you always want to creep over that 80 number, and maybe even close up on 90. Especially at this level, so important for the leads to put the right stone, put the stones in the right place. Better numbers for Matsumara, playing 80%. Just really sets up your team for every end. You get these stones in the right place. Looking for the corner guard now, but this one just pulling up short. That might potentially just block off the intern draw if you would ever have to play that later in the end. Good shot by Alvera though. Now she just needs to put up some cover for it. I think the tight centre guard is called here. Not really touching this one. Just needs to come down. Looking very close to the rings, but just going to pull up in time. So a couple of good shots from Alvera there. Does overcurl a wee bit, but we're going to hop over to sheet B. It's Russia playing Denmark. 2 blanket ends to start off the game. It's Anna Sidorova now having to score with the outturn draw. Reigning European champion from just last December. It's actually trying to score 2 here, I think. Sweeper just backing off this one, and it's going to slide too far. So only the score of 1 for Sidorova. They lead 1-0 after 3. Back in our sheet, we just saw Japan play the tap on the red shot stone. Now Gaspari just asking our teammates if it's ever possible to come to the inside of this yellow. Don't have to play too much weight here. Just back line maybe. But we're playing a normal weight. Obviously that could mean different things depending on what team you're on. But I think that may be a bit too much weight. It's going to be very easy to jam this one. Alvieri playing 75% so far. Not perfect numbers either. So it doesn't seem like a big weight here, but it's going to be hard not to jam it. Well, removes the yellow, so it's all fine and well. Actually sits edge to edge with the centre guard here, so it's going to be hard for Japan to come to the inside. And again, they're just calling the backline weight.
Emi Shimizu playing 75%. Both teams playing it pretty cagey. I think the Japanese team as well will be wanting to keep it reasonably open. They found themselves in a huge amount of trouble against Scotland last night. Just does enough to poke that one through the back.
This one the inside here. So gonna make a choice here to either come directly onto it or play the run back. I think he'll be able to see enough to come down with a soft weight, tap it through. Certainly don't want to catch your guard here though. Green light just indicating that the stone was released before the hog line. Not sure if we've seen a hogged stone so far this week, but hogged or not, this one's just going to overcurl. Leaves 2 red stones in the house, but it's Japan with last stone.
Oh, a nice chance here for them to bring the corner guard into play. Oh, again, just playing it a little bit safe here. Want to get rid of one of those red stones. Don't want to be facing 3 with her last one.
Well, it's certainly easier to find the right spot with the draw rather than hit and roll. You know, if you roll out here, just going to leave the open hit to I2 for Italy. So it's a bigger risk that you're not going to be able to sit to. She's going to come very close to making this perfect. He will lie to it, and I wonder if she's rolled just far enough to avoid the double here. The double might be on, but they would just roll away and leave the draw around the corner. So
yeah. I'm pretty sure Diana Gaspari just indicated that the double is going to go into the wide red. Doesn't look that way to me, just because I have to hit it a little bit off the nose to get it to go onto the edge of the other one. It's going to run under the bottom of that wide red.
Still like this call better though, because if you play the double, you roll out and leave the free draw around the corner. This might just be overcurling a bit though. We'll get the double. Well, maybe not quite. Leaves the yellow. Oh, that's not really a good result for Apollonio. Big chance for Japan now to come around the corner, have pretty good separation on the yellows. Ishikawa playing 74%. We're not seeing the best of numbers from either team.
Yeah, it's got to be said, it's not been the most complicated game so far either. There's not been lots of stones in play. There's not been lots of hard shots called. However, the stats do just give us an indication at this point of how many shots are getting made in the first few ends. Still very early to say that they're having a bad game.
Di là è meglio. Cosa? Rotolare qua? Ma se ci spostiamo poi così? È sotto T-line, gli diamo l'appoggio.
Like to make a hit and roll towards the center line here. Good shot here by Gorapolini. Well, pretty much wherever Ejikawa hits and rolls to here, there could be a double takeout available to Italy, but still got to make it.
I think maybe she's just called a hit and roll here. Hit and roll in front of the other yellow.
That'll certainly give herself options, though. They can afford to hit this one thin and punch the other yellow out the house.
Well, if you ever miss it, They're just going to leave the easy draw for Japan, just trying to make it a bit more difficult for her opposing skip. Gaspari also playing 75% so far this week. I guess those are pretty decent numbers for a skip here. Usually be faced with some tough shots. So can't quite make the roll here. Japan still lies shots, don't.
Fujisawa getting there, playing 77% so far this week.
Can only imagine she's had to play some difficult shots. Just looking over her games a couple of times this week. Been pretty messy sometimes. This is a really nice draw. Finds a really nice angle. There's certainly no realistic double for Gaspari, I think. And she might just play the hit and roll again. Well, we're taking a look at it. Looking at the slash double. That's what Apollonio was looking at anyway. I certainly think either double is going to be really difficult here.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a hit and roll in front of the back halo, doesn't it, Sanders?
Yeah, just strange that she would call the hit and roll with her first one when the double was on, and now go for the thin double when it's just really difficult. Certainly going to make sure to get the one here. Still makeable. Maybe she is playing the roll, not sure.
Georgia Apollonio immediately indicating this one doesn't want swept.
I think they were playing the roll, just couldn't hold the line there.
Okay, so who is lying shot stone? Japanese top hand just trying to figure this one out. Pretty happy that Japan are lying one at the moment, so just going to throw a draw to score 2. Should know this path pretty well. They threw it for the draw shot just before the game began. Final stone of the fourth end. Fujisawa drawing the forefoot for 2.
Can't afford to tap their own here. Doesn't look like she's gonna do that though. Right on the tail line, super draw. Score of 2. The first one so far, and Japan will lead the game 2 shots to 1. That's good for the 3 shots to 1. Sorry, I think that's going to be good for the game. You just have to see Italy push for their 2 now. back in action here in the Volvo Sports Centre. We just saw Japan score 2 in the fourth, so they lead the game 3 shots to 1. And now Japan is looking for the centre guard.
Yeah, but if you're throwing a centre guard, you need to throw it a little bit better than that, not on the centre line.
I'm not sure what happened on that stone, just lost some handle in the end and almost started curling the other way. I think it's still usable though. Titlis just going to come around here. Alvera trying to find a nice spot for this one. Want to keep it high, maybe just top 8. But no, it's just going to come a bit deep here. Trying to finish this one off for the extra curl. So it's back a tee, pretty open. We're going to hop over to sheet A. There's plenty of red ones. I think maybe Switzerland is lying 3 at the moment, where Erica Brown plays her final stone here, in turn draw. Again being forced to take her one.
Yeah, this is a huge game in the context of this round robin. Not the easiest draw path here. Needs to squeeze it past the corner guard and then past the one at top 8. An excellent job here by Erica Brown. Finds the 4-foot, well swept, and the United States will lead Switzerland by 2 shots to 1.
Maybe just overswept this one here. Or maybe not. Alvera just calling the sweepers off there. Well, it certainly had to go the whole way. Just rolls a bit too far. So not very many stones in play here. So it rolls a bit too far, and it's nice to see that Spani will call the draw here. Just ignore that yellow one at the back. Chiara Olivieri lays up.
Well, sometimes that's the good thing about throwing a centre guard when you're ahead in the game, even just by a couple of shots. It does stop the opposition throwing a corner. Sometimes, anyway. A big sweep here by the Italians, but can't get it into shot position, and still pretty open from the hack. Disaster there for Shimizu. So now Italy with the chance to split the rings. And this one's got a long way to go. Alvera and Apollonio are really going to have to dig in here to get this one down. Gaspari coming to help, and can they drag this one down there? They cannot. So that mistake goes unpunished by Italy. Ichikawa sending down the heater here, trying to run the guard back onto the shot stone. Looks pretty close.
Forse di più, 7-8. Da sola. 7-8. 7-8. 7-8. Da sola. Da sola.
All this one just hangs around the back of the rings. And Fujisawa just trying to see. Well, they would have liked to stick the shooter there. Just opens up this draw once again. So it's got a lot of curling to do, not even crossed the centre line yet. See, just a fantastic curl, and he stones in from the hog line. Super draw by Giorgia Apolonio. And that's really going to set. Probably changed a couple of times during this end, but finally back in a position to score the deuce. So after some toing and throwing, considering the freeze, deciding the run back might be a better decision. They can err on the tight side a little bit here and roll to a centre guard. Even spin the yellow off the wide red. Maybe it wasn't the side to err on there.
So I guess the call for Gaspari here is just to draw the opposite wing. It'd be nice to keep a flat line, keep these two stones even. Well, just in front of the tee line here would be perfect. Just on tee really. There we go. Really nice draw by Gaspari. No double left for Japan.
situation tough for Italy to score to here, so you could just play a hit and roll on the other one into the 8-foot. Easier shot, less risk.
Oh, what can she pull off here? Ooh, well.
I don't think that shot stone standard. Really well played shot, but rolls an inch too far.
Not too bad. Went for the difficult one. Was very, very close to making it. I think she might have been able to set shot there, maybe half birdie. Well, it settled down in time. I don't think so. And it's only going to be one red for Diana Gaspari. Break. Just to get a chance to talk to her coaches and have a few snacks and something to drink. We'll be back in a few minutes with some highlights and, of course, the remainder of the game.
(3-2) the scoreline at halftime. Let's see how we got there. Here in the first end, Diana Gaspari drawing against a stone at the edge of the 8-foot. And coming up short, not even close on that occasion. And it would be a steal of one for Japan to start the game. Then into the third end. After running the third end all the way through to try and blank, Diana Gaspari needing to make the hit and roll out. And this one's going to over curl onto the nose. And it would be a force of one each. And here in the fourth end, Japan already lying one yellow amongst a whole bundle of reds. Needed to touch the 4 for a score of 2. And no mistake here from Fujisawa. They would take a 3-1 lead after 4 and managed to force the one in the 5th. Japan 3, Italy 2. Germany and China next door. And this is what happened in the 5th end. China leading by 3 shots to 1. And here is the final stone of the end from Andrea Schopp. Just settling to draw the 8-foot for 1. Shouldn't be too much problems for a player of Andrea's caliber. And this one will rest up just past the tee line. A score of 1 for Germany in the 5th end, and at halftime the score there, China 3, Germany 2. So as you see at the bottom there, confirmation of that, and Russia trailing Denmark by 3 shots to 2, and Switzerland leading the United States by 3 shots to 2 after just 4 ends. So 3-2 across the boards.
ragazze. Dai. Dai, fuori i coglioni, dai. Via. Piano.
There's the stats. Japan just sneaking it on Italy at the moment. Neither team playing particularly well. But that 64% draw stat from Italy. A couple of missed draws by Diana Gaspari in the first half of this game. Really making a difference between these two sides. Here's Claudia Alvera getting us underway in the sixth end. And Gaspari looking for the centre guard. Well, these centre guards getting closer to the centre guard, but still not managing to cut it.
Game accuracy of 85% for Matsumura. Solid numbers for a lead.
Oh, super come around here by Matsumura. Keeps it top of the tee line.
Yeah, we'll continue playing well. 76% for Alvera. He's missed a couple so far. Needs to improve a wee bit here in the second half of the game.
Yeah, but raising her game in comparison to her tournament stat this week of just 70%. Big sweep here by Olivieri and Apolonio. Just trying to corner check this redstone at the top of the 8 foot. Prevent any sort of run backs. I really didn't want to slide off that stone. Could be a chance here for Italy.
No. Appena un pezzettino manca. Va bene 9,5.
Olivieri playing 65% today. Not really able to capitalize on the Italian lead's improved play.
It's not going to continue to be any better here. Takes off their centre guard. And Japan lies 2 now.
Yeah, that was wild, Sander. That guard shouldn't have really been in play in that shot.
Emi Shimizu at 73%. Again, just not really perfect numbers, but making an okay shot here. Does wiggle things around a wee bit though. Just gonna leave a bit more room for Italy to score. Would you ever consider throwing the guard there instead of playing the hit? Maybe allowing Italy to utilize their corner guard. We're sitting 2 along the center line. Now they just play the hit and just kind of wiggle things around. Maybe left a bit more space for Italy.
It was such a waffly explanation, I've forgotten what the question was.
Throw the center guard ever?
I don't think so, no, at this point. Not facing 3 yellow counters without the hammer. Nice double takeout.
I meant for Japan.
Well, generally you want to keep the centre open, and they do have a lead here, and they will want to make sure that they score here in 6. Corner guard's wide open.
Sorry. Japan has last on.
Correct. It's too early in the morning for us here, guys.
Hard to keep track of this.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself, Sander. So they had a similar situation just a couple of ends ago, I think in the 4th end, and they chose to play a hit and roll off that high red, but choosing to ignore it this time and go around the corner. Push hard to score the deuce.
So yeah, I'm gonna go back on my statement. Obviously, she's opened things up for the better having last on, being able to come around the corner guard themselves. Pretty much call the opposite shot. And you certainly want to keep the center line open.
I think we need to call a coach interaction for you right now, Sander. Attempts to double. That was a really tough shot to call. Yeah, hit and roll onto the top of it might have been better. Don't feel too bad about that one, Georgia. That was a tough one. Mio Ichikawa having a super game at third, playing 85%.
Really working this one. Looking pretty good. We'll enter the top of the 12 here to Lativa. Continues to play well.
Apollonio playing 74%. Tricky shot here, trying to hit and roll underneath the stone just played by Japan. Going to open the center line right up with this one.
Claudia, il mio auto è tenuto. Sarò stata stretta, cosa vuoi che ti dica?
Could be tempting to play the out turn on this one. Just make sure you don't leave a piece of your shots on the left side, allowing Italy to play the hit and roll towards the corner guard. But certainly if you get it buried, it's not a problem. If you don't really know the weight out wide, certainly better to play the spot you know. But this one's Maybe pulling up short here. Team effort to bring this one into the rings.
And strange time for a guard, Sander.
Yeah. Well, we're going to hop over to sheet C. It's Germany playing China. 1 point lead for Binya Wang here, playing her last stone of the sixth end. Looking for her first win against veteran skip Andrea Schupp. I'm not quite sure how the house looks here, but it's sort of a good sign that the sweepers are backing off the stone. Again, it's a good sign if they're down to clean it again. So that was an open draw for two, I think, and ended up needing the backing on the back line there.
Yeah, so the 2009 world champions leading the 2010 world champions by 5 shots to 2.
So that center guard there just gives Japan some trouble. Nice hit and roll as well from Diana Gaspari.
Well, Diana Gaspari looking a lot more comfortable with the takeouts than the draws today. A couple of missed draws really making the difference in the first half of this game. Nagoka getting some airtime today. Fujisawa not at her brilliant best so far this week, playing 58%. Just really looking for one of these teams, one of these skips to take this game by the scruff of the neck and force another win onto the board. Sometimes you're not going to play at your best, but you just have to win ugly, and that's what both of these teams are going to be trying to do here. Actually, not a bad shot there. Rolls out edge to edge with the guard and puts it in a useful position.
Io giocherei tranquillamente un T-line.
Sì, 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 volevo
guarda che se fai così.
Vabbè, no. Noi dobbiamo portarla qua. 6. Allora, se tiro un po' più fortino, vediamo così. Entriamo in casa, proviamo, se riusciamo a spizzare quello e entrare.
Ottimo.
Avevi tirato tu di qua? Era una guardia. Secondo voi è normale?
Secondo me puoi tirare 3,70.
Sì. Riusciamo a spostarla, sì. Secondo me sì.
Finisci la 3,70 e la tiriamo al limite, capito?
So, Sander Diana Gaspari, 62% game accuracy. Just not good enough, the two skips today. Neither of them seems to want to win it. What's the perfect spot for this one coming in here?
I think maybe called a little split on the red here. Trying to just come off the inside of it, push that one down to T-line, and then just slide underneath the center guard. You certainly don't want to leave a double here. And I think that might just be enough for Gaspari. Certainly looks like it's going to be difficult to play a double and stick the shooter here. Not even sure how much you can see of the inside of that red now.
Certainly going to need a lot of weight to spin it all the way to the edges of the 12 foot to score 2.
いやいや、そっちだと無理じゃない？
But definitely there's a shot there to score 1.
あ、レースか。
ちょっとかぶってんだよね。こっち。ギリ。
ああ、まあ曲がるからいけると思うけど。
ああ、結構かぶってない？
いや、大丈夫だと思う。
Well, it's actually a really tough shot to get to the inside of that red stone. I just wonder if you're playing the tap. This is a tough shot.
ダブル難しい？ダブルは難しい。
Wonder if you're not feeling confident in going for the inside of that red and you're going to play a tough shot like this, maybe there's some value in actually running the guard into these 2 reds.
Yeah, it's a good chance of scoring 2 if you just angle around that yellow onto the first red. Well, you got to feel confident in making at least contact with 1 red. Can't give up a steal 2 here. But certainly the draw looks pretty difficult as well, though.
Pretty sure if we're playing a takeout here, would be a disaster to lose 2 here. So here's Fujisawa, only playing 58% today, going for a tough shot here. Does have a bit of a wall that she can push this yellow into. The weight looks absolutely perfect. Does enough to cut it to 1. A nice attempt there by Fujisawa, and it will be a tie game after 6 ends here this morning. Italy 3, Japan 3.
もうちょい背負ってよかったな。そうだね。
ああ、ごめん。
Bravo. Profitthiamo perché loro non... Adesso noi stiamo entrando in partita, piano piano. Io metterei il punto.
Welcome back to the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga, Latvia. We're live from the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013. Draw 9. And our featured game is Italy and Japan. Tie game after 6 ends, after a steal by the Italians in the 6th. Well, we saw this situation last night, Sander, when USA and the Canadians played each other. 7th end, you're the Japanese. What's an acceptable outcome for them in this end?
Well, certainly if Italy comes into the rings here, which they have done, I think maybe just play the hit here. You can blank the end. That way, as we talked about earlier, you allow yourself to have hammer twice, 8th and 10th end. And Italy will only have the hammer once in the 9th. So, not really sure why they're putting up the corner guard here. I would certainly go for the blank in this end and rather try and score my 2 in the 8th. Would you agree on that assessment?
Yeah, absolutely, Sander. Be running this end through. But none of the women's teams this week seem to be wanting to do that and punish their opposition for that call. Not even Rachel Homan last night. Slightly different circumstances, 1 down with. But still, I think going into the 8th end, 1 down with the hammer is a pretty good situation to be in. I can tell you that Scottish skip Eve Muirhead would have definitely hit that stone and run the end through.
I wonder if Sweden is a team that would control the even ends as well. I haven't really seen them so far, but they're undefeated out of 5 wins. Maybe that's just one thing that that they apply to their game, which gives them an edge. It'll be interesting to see them on for a future game later.
I don't think they've been past the 6th end too much this week, so they've not had to worry about 7 and 8 and who has the last stone. Shimizu enjoying that hit and roll, squeezes in behind the cover. Chiara Olivieri going for the freeze. Fractionally overswept there. Bounces off the freeze. Okay, so about half of that redstone seen from the hack. Emi Shimizu. Another super intern takeout. Another mistake by Olivieri. She is having an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it sounded like that was in the guard right off the bat. Just couldn't hold it. Just came out tight, and Japan managed to. So even if we thought they should flank the end, you have a good chance of scoring multiple here. This draw is looking slightly wide, but we do have some nice finish on the ice here. There we go.
Okay, so a nice shot there. Would it like to just get a little bit of an edge tucked? And, well, Italy try and bail out. Sheet A, Switzerland and United States. Both 3 wins and 2 losses, and both 3 points today. 3 each playing the 6th end. And Silvana Tirinzoni needing to find the forefoot to draw for 1. Drawing was not her forte yesterday. How does it look today? This one's going to need to grow some teeth. Will it catch the backing? Or will not? Oh, maybe it has. Debbie McCormick's going to take a look, and it will be 1 red. So 6 ends played there between Switzerland and the USA, and Switzerland leading by 4 shots to 3.
Meanwhile, on our sheet, we just saw Apollonia play a nice double takeout. But Japan still lying 1 though. Coming down with this draw from Ichikawa. Again, a team effort to just bring this one into the rings. Just a foot further. This would settle in a nice spot. So still some trouble for Italy here in the 7th. I think Gaspani has called a run back here from Apollonio.
Oh, Japan really seem to be moving through the gears in the 7th end. This is going to require a good one here from Apollonio.
Just flicked that one out a little bit, I think.
Questa c'era troppo ghiaccio. Esatto. Ho capito io che sono il leader.
Okay, Ichikawa. I think we'll see them split the rings here to lie 3. Japan do have the last stone. Big sweep here from Shimizu and Matsumura. And drags it far enough. Great sweeping by the Japanese front end. And Ichikawa getting our money's worth out of the sweepers with both of her shots. Try and get the heart rate back down for skip stones.
Piena, proviamo la doppia.
Really needs to make a double here. And she will. Very nice shot by Gaspari. Certainly going to cut Japan's score down to 2 at least. Because that yellow one's going to be in the open. So good play by Gaspari as we nip over to sheet B. It's Russia playing Denmark. A must win for Denmark. And a should win for Russia. It's Anna Sidorova with the intern draw.
Now Denmark actually scooped 3 in the 5th end to take a 3-2 lead.
Oh, and they're lying 2 right here. Anna Sidorova needs a piece of the 1 foot. Excellent draw. And she's going to tie up the game at 3 each after 6. So back on our sheety, it's Fujisawa just throwing around the corner guard, wide center to sit 2 here.
Sweepers backing off this one. Can Apollonio get this one through? Just gonna rear up in time. Japan lying 2. Sigh of relief there for Fujisawa. Hit and roll required here for Diana Gaspari, trying to get over there to the other side of the 4 foot circle off this yellow. And at least pose some questions of the Japanese skipper. Oh, great brushing by Olivieri and Alvera. Sticks this one in behind the corner guard. Good shot there by Gaspari.
I'm not quite sure why Fujisawa didn't sweep that one. Seemed to hesitate a bit. Certainly would like to keep that, get that one a bit wider. So maybe have to come around the outside here of the corner guard. See, that's exactly why she would like to have that round one a bit more to the right. Pretty tough shot. You're going to play this one down an unknown path. Have to come fairly close to the guard.
Well, it's definitely available. Fujisawa final stone here in 7 and has the chance to score too.
It's got to be close here. Needs the inside of the red. Haha, perfect shot by Fujisawa. Bologna just pointed at that one yellow. Will it be 1 or 2?
Pretty sure it was 2, Sander. Certainly will be. It goes up on the scoreboard, and Japan, again, there just deserves a really good 7th end and leading Italy by 5 shots to 3. Two and then 7 for Japan. Gives them a 5 shots to 3 lead here in draw 9. Sander, do you think it's a deserved lead?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's been a bit back and forth. I think maybe the Japanese has been just that wee bit better than the Italians. Certainly been able to make a bit better use of their opportunities. Sure.
Yeah, I think neither skips really seem to want to win this one. Not really playing at their best, but Fujisawa making 2 nice shots there and 7 to score the 2. Alvera playing 78% against Matsumura 88. Much better game from Alvera.
Yeah, 96% on draws for Matsumura. That's certainly what you like from your lead player. First one's really good. The second one, I think they wanted this one front of the house, but it gets a good line there. It's not terrible. But just going to allow Alvera to play the hit and roll off these ones. And now the important thing for Alvera is you pretty much need to stick the shooter here. If you ever roll out, you could very easily see Japan just peel the corner, and then your end is pretty much ruined. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Looking fair close to nose here. We'll remove 1 yellow.
Esatto.
Bit more like it from Olivieri. Rolls out their side of the corner guard, but you see overall it's not had the races today against Shimizu. Only 60%, plays 80. Definitely room for improvement there. Makes a head and stick, but that corner guard pretty much wide open. Needs to stick around. If you're playing a takeout here, you absolutely must stick around. You could have played the draw there, Sander, and that's the skip. I'm sure Diana Gaspari knows that Olivieri's takeouts have been a bit wayward today, so maybe a better call there to go for the draw. Play for your team's strengths.
So, Fujisawa calling the draw around the corner guard here. Would you ever maybe consider just taking off the corner here, denying Italy a chance to score in the 8th end?
Yeah, absolutely, Sander. I always think that you have to have a really good reason to go around the corner guard when you don't have the last stone, especially to do it first. Best thing to maybe happen here is to tick the guard. Just sneaks by. I will choke off the draw, but I think you're absolutely right, Sander. I think you peel the guard every day. Ichikawa having a good game, playing 83% against Apollonio 67. Gotta say, Apollonio has had some tough shots to play this morning. And this one isn't an easy shot either. Kind of hook one right around the Yellowstone just played by Japan.
According to the stats here, it's actually Apollonio having to play the toughest shots of everyone on the sheet today. So might just explain the lower numbers. Ishikawa though, she's been pretty solid so far. Well, maybe just over curling in this one, but not too horrible there. Does punch her yellow one out. to the side. I might just show the inside of the shot stone. These sweepers have been working really hard today.
Back to Switzerland and USA on sheet 8. Switzerland leading by 4 shots to 3, and this is Erica Brown throwing the last stone of the 7th end. Really good with the draws yesterday against Rachel Holman and her Canadian team.
Careful, might be a little fresher out there. Careful. Careful.
And drawing against a couple of Swiss Reds, and Swiss Elm raising the hand to acknowledge a nice draw by Erica Brown. 4 rounds played there, tie game. But back on our featured sheet on the other side of the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga, Latvia. Japan line 3 here in the 8th. Maybe Diana Gaspari can pull out a skip's deuce here in the 8th to tie this one up.
Però
70 arrivo.
Sì, 8 sì. Siccome deve girare, meno la scoppiamo.
Really working this one. Seems to have a great line. Can he drag it deep enough to just hide the whole stone? I think they have.
Well, it's a good effort, Sander, but not really far enough. It's going to be a pretty short raise here for Fujisawa. Well, Fujisawa currently only playing 63% and only 58% on hits. So maybe the Italians might get another break here.
Really tough to catch this one too thin. Should be a pretty straightforward angle raise. Looks like they're in control here. And it's going to sit right there. Japan lies 3. Diana Gaspari needs to draw the 8-foot to score. She's not been too steady with the draws, but she just played a nice one with her first here. So it shouldn't be a problem to come into the 8th for the here. Certainly your 2 down cannot afford to give up another steal. So last stone of the 8th, facing 3 yellows, and it's all down to the sweepers now. Olivieri and Alvera.
Have a burst of sweeping there.
Always looks so heavy looking at it from the side, but I think that's going to settle down nicely. Back of the 4 there, no problems from Gaspari, but Japan will have a 1-point lead now after 8. So 5 shots to 4 lead for them. They'll have hammer in 9th when we come back.
Ci darei un pellettino. Buona. 2. Un po' larga. Alla fine forte, che deve fare. Vai, 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 tirala, vai, tirala, vai, tirala, tira giù, vai, vai, ancora, vai, ancora, forte.
Centre guard required by Italy to start this 9th end.
We have talked about the 9th end on several occasions, but let's do it one more time. What's the game plan for the teams?
Well, I think ideally the Japanese want to blank here in the 9th and take the hammer into 10 with a 1-shot lead. But the Italians will be trying to do everything in their power to prevent that from happening. And often teams choose to use this option of drawing to the wing when they're trying to blank. The key is for the Italians who want to stop that happening is to ignore the stones in the house and throw up the centre guards. Looks like Matsumura's found a nice spot for this one.
Dietro? No, dietro no.
Dietro no, perché poi aprono
Allora tirano via.
Ita stay.
Sì. Poi gli diamo la mano nulla, eh? È la
No,
nonna,
mettiamo un
sto
3,
facendo
mettiamo un
apposta. Sì.
Phew.
Well, I thought we were going to have a hit here, but it really isn't the way to play the 9th end.
Well, there's no reason to put up the centre guard if you're going to play the hit on your next shot. You really need to put some pressure on Japan and make, you know, either steal or force the 1. Blank is not an option for Italy, and if you play the hit, you're just going to keep doing that for the whole end. If you ever roll out, center guard's off, the blank end is theirs, Japan I mean. So, won't quite come down to that tight guard spot, but 2 centers nonetheless. This time Matsumura will play the out-turn draw. Want to make sure this one doesn't come too deep. When sweepers are backing off the stone like this, you gotta wonder, will it slide too far?
Yeah, not even close here.
Yeah, sometimes it just come a bit wider, hit some fresh pebble, just a bit quicker. Or maybe she thought it was going to be a bit slower and gave it a bit more. Olivieri. Good chance now to sneak one in there behind the centre guards. Looking pretty decent so far. That's a good line. Be nice to just get this one into the top of the 4. And there we go. Nice shot by Olivieri. And now Japan has some work to do if they want to blank the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be too worried about whether you can see that stone or not. I think it's about peeling the guards here.
That's the only problem with Elvira's first two shots. There's kind of an angle there. Good chance to play the double peel for Shimizu. I think she's going to be pretty close. Ooh, just going to tickle that second one, and actually ends up putting it in the perfect spot for Italy, fully guarding the shot still, and that's a bit unlucky.
That sure is, Sander. Hoping to see a long guard here.
Uno, due, maybe one or two, I think, in Italian. Calling this one a two, that would be halfway between the hog line and the house. That's just a bit too deep for my liking. Double peel and certainly on again.
I think they were looking for Uno there. So a great chance for Shimizu to remove these guards from play.
Oh, here we go. Ooh, does it gonna jam on the yellow? No, it's just gonna push it wider to the side and maybe even spin all the way out here. Nice sweeping by Fujisawa behind the T-line. Really nice shot. But luckily we'll see Italy still guarding the shot zone here.
Yeah, definitely one of the easier shots today that Georgia has had to play. Line looking really high at the moment. Lots of curling to do to get down onto the centre line.
Trying to keep this one alive. Not gonna quite get the line here. So it might be tempting for Japan to play the hit and roll to the wing. And that's exactly what they're gonna do here. Holding the sweepers off here, looking a bit high for line. Oh no, no panic. Makes it perfect. And starting to be a bit scared for the Italians. They're going to play the hit and roll back. Certainly it's a much tougher shot to make the hit and roll rather than the straight draw.
Now, even forcing the one wouldn't be a disaster here for Italy, but they can't afford to give up a multiple score.
So rolls out, and Fujisawa looking to peel the center guard here. I gotta say I like this call. Their plan was to blank the end, and they're not going back on that decision, as we often see teams do. Stick to the one plan. So they peel the center, and Aspari now more or less just have to play the hit here, and there will most likely be a blank end for Japan. Meanwhile, Switzerland still playing United States, 4 each. We're in the 8th end. It's Tirenzoni with our last one here. Looks like USA is lying one at the moment. Just the back of the 8 foot. Might have backing here. But she's just going to come out down to the tee line, score 1. Really tight game over there on the end sheet. So a 1 point lead for Switzerland after 8 ends. Tanner Tony not looking too amused.
So Japan in great shape here in the 9th end. Hit and roll out from Apollonio, leading to a likely blank end here in the 9th.
So it doesn't look like that. Redstone's in, but maybe Gaspari would be looking to roll in front of it. Certainly looking to just roll towards the center line. Main thing though is just to keep this red one around. You want to make Fujisawa play a shot. If you're lucky, she'll miss it. Really keeping this one for line. And it's going to be quite lucky to jam the red one there. And will force a shot from Fujisawa. Wow. Although it's going to be fairly simple, you're not going to have to roll a far way to make the blank. 9th end, last stone. Fujisawa looking for the blank. That was the plan all along. And it's looking pretty solid here. Easy for the Japanese skip. And it's a blank in 9th. Japan will keep last stone and have a 1 point lead as we head into the 10th end. Advantage Japan.
Dobbiamo essere precise in tutto. Qua giù forse è più. Abbiamo fatto tutte le mani, abbiamo fatte lì.
Bene, allora ci porterà bene.
Però dobbiamo stare attente.
2 guardie e si va. Io ci 3 2 1 2. Se è corta facciamo l'1, sulla linea comunque. Vai, fatto da chiamare, vai, tira, ancora, dai che va, ancora. Va bene?
Italy trailing Japan by 5 shots to 4 without the last stone here in the 10th end. It's going to be a big ask, but I'm sure we're going to see the kitchen sink coming out here in 10. Center guard goes up, trying to utilize the free guard zone rule.
Yeah, Olvera not really finding a nice spot for the center guards, just pretty much right in between the hog line and the house. Even off the center line. So even if you get to replace this shot, it's going to be hard to put your second one up to leave some good separation. And that's one. That one's actually not going to touch the foam bumper. I thought that was touching, but she's making a really nice shot. Don't think you can come any closer to the bumper there.
Actually, looks like it's sitting. It's actually bending the bumper at the moment.
Yeah, it does, but Hispania is leaving it there. Hmm. Oh well. Just have to go for your center guard once more. So while Vera's throwing up that center guard, we'll see Germany playing China on sheet C. It's Binny Wang with her last stone of the 10th end. And looks like Germany is lying one. Just needs to make the hit here to win the game. No problem for Binny Wang. And they will pick up their first win here in Riga, Latvia. Germany moves to 3-3.
I don't think this one's going to stop this tick shot. That will be replaced. Diana Gaspari kind of forgetting about the 3 guards on rule. I thought she'd be the first one to put that one back, but
Can't believe that red one's not touching the foam. Well, yeah, one center guard. Need to steal one for the extra end. Certainly if you can steal 2, that'd be nice too. So throwing another center here. Just want to keep this one tight to the rings. Just looking for some curl. Don't want to leave an angle for a double. That's a nice shot there by Olivieri.
okay, so right at the top of the house there in a useful position. Just looking for this guard directly in front of that red stone, a little bit longer. Shimizu with the peel once again. And Shimizu's had a really nice game this morning. Knocking out an 85% game. Guard again here for Georgia Apollonio.
Alla fine, vai, 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 tira, 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 tira. Ok, basta, basta, basta. Guardi qua.
Che fatica questa.
Sì.
Forse è la stonna, eh?
Doesn't quite manage to get them lined up and goes a little bit deep, and
La stonna a questo punto.
Perché non è possibile.
Georgia looking a little bit bemused. A bit tight here. Mistake by Ichikawa. She's not made many mistakes today. But that's going to really close off that out-turn side.
Gli ho dato, Gli ho dato.
È 1-2.
Gli ho dato.
1-2. 1-2. 2. Oh, oh, oh.
Brava.
Ottima, Gio.
Oh, better this time for Georgia.
Abbiamo scoperto.
So pretty much could be worth the go at running the double here, as you're already blocked off the out-turn path. So just anywhere high side here.
Oh, putting a bit of hot sauce on this one. Can she make the double peel? No, she cannot. Doesn't really improve the situation on that other side of the sheet either.
Just pinged that one back a bit and just left the center line.
こっちになると思う。Può anche premere quella dritta.
Anche quella là in mezzo ci sta bene.
So has to be the guard again here, really.
Ok.
Forfoot.
Dove?
4-5.
Vai.
No, actually making the draw this time.
Sola, Giorgia, solo linea. Oh, linea no.
Needs to make sure they get it down all the way onto the T line here.
Sola. Solo
Vai, vai. Dai. Tutta. Tutta, tutta che va. Giù, 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 giù. Ancora.
Well, it's taking Diana Gaspari 10 ends, but
Posso aspettare?
she's finally found her draw weight. That one drifts down to the T line. But still a little bit of an angle here, and maybe
Meno.
Japan can make the double still.
So I wonder, Logan, has the run back called here? Just looking at the ice, looks pretty tight for a clean pick of the top one.
Yeah, I think this is the right shot. I think you try and hit this one 3/4, spin the shooter away and pull both of these reds out.
Again, you're already blocking off the out-turn path, so even if you just roll a foot to the side, you're not really doing any harm. And look at that shot, amazing. Even spins the shooter in, I think, to lie one. Big shot by Fujisawa.
All smiles for that one.
And certainly going to leave her shot to win the game. Absolutely perfect. And Gaspari needs to come around the yellow now. Well, the good thing about rolling in the shooter is if you just see half of a Gaspari stone here, just pick it out for the win. Well, actually they have a 1 point lead anyway, so maybe it didn't matter too much.
Quarto di
So need to make this one count here, Gaspari.
I'll just have to take a slightly narrower path this time. We just brought the ice in 12 inches.
Yeah, maybe it just feels like she has to go for it here and really hide this one, knowing that Japan can just pick it out to win the game.
Well, this Yellowstone as well is just a little bit further off the centre line as well, so let this one curl. Need to go at the end to really maximise the curl. See it bending now, and Olivieri and Alvera going to work. Nice attempt by Gaspari, but just too much ice, I think. And Japan will just have to get this red out of there. Seeing more than half stone from the hack.
%73% on hit so far, but he needs a piece of the red here to win the game. Oh, I think they're pretty close to this one. No problems for Fujisawa. Picks out the red, even scores one, I think. That should bring the game to a 6-4 score, and another win for Japan.
Yeah, Japan will move to 4 wins and 2 losses with that victory, while Italy will go to 2 and 4. It was a real swing game there. Italy had the chance to tie up with Japan at 3 wins and 3 losses, but Japan moving along quite nicely now. And they are quite compelling to watch. So much enthusiasm and excitement out there. And they're playing some good stuff along the way too. Diana Gaspari just not quite at the races with her draws today until the 10th end. And neither skip really able to punish each other for their mistakes. But let's see how this all panned out in the 5th end. This was Diana Gaspari just had to draw the 8-foot circle to score 2. It came out of her hand a little bit hot and careered through the rings. A little bit of help from Fujisawa, and it would be a score of 1 to make the scoreline 3-2 to Japan. Then in the 7th end, a beautiful little tap back here from Fujisawa. A nice hit and roll from Gaspari to force this tough shot, but got it absolutely on the money. Just pokes it past that back yellow, and it would be a score of 2. Japan moving into a 5-3 lead after 7 ends. And then some nice clearing leading to appeal in the 10th end. Fujisawa just needing to remove that redstone from play. No problem at all. And Japan take this one down by 6 shots to 4. Elsewhere on the ice, Switzerland leading the United States by 7 shots to 4. Big steal of 2 in the 9th end there. Russia and Denmark 4 apiece, playing 10. And Denmark have the hammer there. And China seeing off Germany for their first win this week by 7 shots to 5. Sweden remain the only team undefeated so far this week. And Japan moving up into tied second on 4 wins. And a whole heap of teams still in the mix here. Italy, you've got to say, have a lot of work to do now, but everyone above them still in contention here at this Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013. So let's see what the winning skip had to say.
So how good does it feel to play a last shot to win a game here at the World Championships?
今日のラストショットで勝負を決めたわけですが、そのことについてコメントを聞かせてください。
まあ試合の展開的にすごくいい展開で最終エンドを迎えられたので、割と楽なショットで最後決めて勝つことができてよかったです。
The whole game was pretty good to us, so it was easy for me to throw the last shot at the end.
You have 4 wins so far. How good do you feel about your chances of making to the playoffs?
現在4勝していますが、プレーオフに残る自信はありますか？
そうですね、今日の試合またアメリカ戦に勝つことができれば、すごく近づけると思うので、今日また次の試合に集中したいと思います。
If we win tonight's game against USA, we have a big chance to go to the playoffs, so we want to concentrate to the next match.
You feel confident about beating USA tonight?
アメリカに自信はありますか？
まあ今までいい調子でやってこれてるので自信はあります。
We are doing pretty well so far. I am confident.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
So there you have it. Scoreline of 6 shots to 4 in Japan's favour. They'll move to 4 wins and 2 losses, while Italy will fall to 2 and 4. So for myself, Logan Gray and Sander Rolvog, thanks for joining us for Draw 9 here at the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Championships, and join us for more later on. Thanks for watching.